Hello, I'm Gary Frankenberry from TechStorms Productions, and this is Tutorial 2 of the Golang Programming Tutorials series under Linux. In this lesson, we'll discuss the 3 methods for installing the Go programming language development tools on your Linux computer. Then I'll demonstrate one of these methods for installing Golang, and finally, I'll show you how to set up your local user environment directories and establish the local path locations. Method 1, you can use the existing Golang packages as part of your Linux distribution. The disadvantage of using this install technique is that your distro packages may not be updated promptly, so they don't often have the latest versions of the Golang software packages available. Method 2, you can go to the Golang website, https://golang.org, and download the Golang packages there and install the packages as described at that site. Now, Method 2 works for most distributions of Linux, and you can get the most recent versions of the Golang files. However, if you later download Golang library packages from your local distribution files, these files may not be stored in the correct locations. Method 3, if you're using Ubuntu Linux or an Ubuntu-based Linux distribution, you can set up a personal package archive or a PPA to get a link to some custom Golang packages, which are typically updated more often than the standard Ubuntu repositories. I've tried all 3 of these methods, but since I use an Ubuntu-derived distribution, that is KDE Neon, this is the technique I find best works for me. Regardless of which method you choose, you should finish watching this video as I discuss setting up your personal user directories and setting up the Linux path configuration settings for all 3 methods. So let's begin the demonstration now. This is a simplified image of a typical Linux file directory system shown with the customary Go language folders used for programming. On the left side we have the Linux home folder containing the users Phil and Mary. Since users Phil and Mary are set up for Go programming, they each have a Go folder as a subdirectory, and in that Go folder they have 3 further subdirectories called bin, pkg, and src, short for bin, package, and source. Installing Golang on your computer system won't automatically create these user Go directories and their subdirectories, so they have to be manually created. On the right side of the screen is the System Go folder, which stores the shared Go files needed by any Go programmer using your Go programming system on your computer. On a Linux system, the location of the System Go folder may vary. An Ubuntu install from the Ubuntu stock repository or from a personal package archive repository automatically installs the System Go folder as a subdirectory of the /user/lib folder, while an installation of Go recommended by the Golang.org website has you expand a downloaded file and suggests that you manually move the System Go folder to be a subdirectory of the /user/local folder. We note this directory structure because each user needs to set a user variable called GOPATH, which points to the user's Go folder, and then set path names to the user's Go/bin subfolder and the system's Go/bin subfolder. Typically, these settings are stored or placed in the user's .profile file or the .bashrc file, which will be shown later when I demonstrate the install process. So let's take a look at the user's bin, package, and source folders and see what's stored in each of them. So here's a diagram of the home user's Go folder with its 3 subfolders, bin, package, and source. This diagram shows you the types of files you will store in the bin, package, and source folders. The bin folder stores binary files, that is, your compiled Go executable files are stored there. We will later set a path to this folder so that you can execute your Golang files no matter what your current folder is. The package folder stores compiled dependency packages, and the source folder stores the Go source files that you write or copy from somewhere else. Now, let's take a look at the System Go folder and see what files are stored there. This System Go folder stores the Golang compiler along with other Golang utility programs and Go library files. Note that I've uploaded the 3 diagrams as a large PDF file stored at my TechStorms.net website. Next, I'll show you the installation guide that is also stored as a PDF file at my techstorms.net website. And so the first part of this PDF is how to install Go on Linux using the Ubuntu stock repositories or an Ubuntu Linux personal package archive. And the second part is how to install Go on Linux according to the directions on the official Golang website. Since I'm going to install using an Ubuntu personal package archive, I'll start with step 1. If you install using the Ubuntu stock repositories, you'll begin with step 2. So we'll bring up a console terminal so we can type in the commands that we use in the installation process. Along the way, we'll use the sudo command to temporarily become the root user to issue some of these commands. The install process largely takes place in the command line, so I have a console terminal here on the screen to demonstrate the installation. If you're installing from the Ubuntu stock repositories, you'll begin at instruction step number 2. If you're installing from a personal package archive, you'll begin at instruction step number 1. Step 1 in the install instructions is the command to add a link to the personal package archive for Golang packages. Ubuntu-related distros require you to enter the sudo prefix command to temporarily get root access rights to the files on your machine. So please enter the command in a console terminal as shown on the screen: sudo add apt repository //golang backports and press the enter key. You'll be asked to enter the sudo password. Type that in and press the enter key again. And then you'll be asked to confirm this installation. Press enter again. Next, you'll update your computer's repository list to get access to the software packages pointed to by that list. So type sudo apt update and press the enter key. Commands shown as step 3 and step 4 on the screen are to install the Golang packages on your computer. These steps take a little time, so I'll speed up this section of the video. Now to install the primary Golang package, type sudo apt install golang-go and press the enter key. Type Y to confirm you want to do this install and press the enter key again. And to install the optional Golang documentation files for local web access, which is optional here, you can type sudo apt install golang-x-tools and press the enter key and Y to confirm and enter. The next step, that is step 5, is to create your local user file directories for Golang storage. You will use the Linux command mkdir, which stands for make directory, to do this. You can refer to your home directory as /home/username, or you can use the tilde symbol, that is the squiggle character that is used by Linux to stand for your home directory. So to create the Go directory as the subdirectory of your home directory, type as I have on the screen, mkdir space ~/go. Press the enter key. Now to create the 3 subdirectories of the Go folder you just created, you'll type mkdir ~go/bin, pkg, src, and that will create those 3 subdirectories, and press the enter key. Now to customize your user's path names for Golang, You may use any text editor you prefer to modify the .profile file or the .bashrc file. If you don't see these files in your home directory, note that files that start with a period symbol are typically hidden when you display your directory files. So I'll fire up kwrite as my text editor and I'll edit the .profile file. kwrite home directory / get the profile file. Press enter, and we're going to enter 3 export statements, and we enter them down at the end of the file. And I have them here pre-typed in green, and I've commented them out so they're not currently active. The first one you're going to type in is the export GOPATH equals $home / go. Please note that capitalization is important here when typing these commands. Then beneath that one, you can enter in the export, the new path equals the old path, $path, GOPATH / bin. And the last export statement that you'll enter is export path equals $path, /user /lib /go /bin. This gives you the path to the system binary folder. And you can go ahead and save this, and I'll save this here. And once you've saved your .profile or .bashrc file, you can go ahead and log out and log back in to see if your Linux paths are correct and the installation was successful. So I'll log out and we'll log back in. Now that you've logged back in, bring up a command terminal and type in go version and press the enter key, and it should display back to you Go version and the version of the Go programming language you just installed, which may be different than 1.15.7 as I have here. But anyway, if you get that, then your install was successful and you're ready for lesson 3, installing a text editor. Thank you for listening. Goodbye for now.